Hello, everyone, and welcome to another powerful conversation. And I am joined today by an amazingly powerful woman, Sophie. Is it Ben? I can't
Benge.
even. Benge.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you. Sorry about that. So she is here to share what she's all about, and I'm very excited for anyone that is watching or joining us. So thank you so much, Sophie. It's wonderful to have you here. I've been really looking forward to this one since we spoke a few months back now.
Yeah, me too.
So tell us about you and what you do.
Oh, well, thank you, Claire. Thank you for having me. I I'm passionate about the whole concept of the feminine, and I work with women to inspire them to reconnect with the feminine. And this can sound a little nebulous. What does that mean? But I think at a level, we're all thirsty. We're all thirsty to reactivate, to find this within ourselves. And I think that's because we're waking up to the fact that we're living more in our masculine side. So we need masculine and feminine, all of us, and it should be a balance. But because of the society in which we live, basically we've been shoehorned into this patriarchal system that we have, let's say, subconsciously and over time suppressed our innate powers. And I
Yeah.
think we need to find them again, because this is really what serves us. I know you're all about empowering women, and there's many ways to do it, but I think the way that I choose to follow is by connecting back with what we really are, our innate essence, if you like. And there's
Yeah.
various ways to do that.
Yeah. I think it's really interesting. I was listening to even a podcast this morning where they were talking about, and I hadn't thought about it like this before, that the children of, say, the 60s and 70s, it was all about being free and about community. And then the 80s came with the times of Thatcher, and it was more about individualism and being yourself and going out there and getting things. And that's where these big movies came out, and that's when that sort of more masculine side started coming out, and it was all about do, go, get. And it's like we're coming out the other side of that now, and people are starting to realize that it's more about who you get to be, and that feminine side of it, the being in touch with your emotions and your feelings.
Absolutely. I
Yeah.
think this goal orientated strive, this sense that we should strive to feel worthwhile and always be goal orientated, is sort of exhausting us. And we're thinking there must be another way. And I believe that there is. It's just the confidence to really step out of what we're used to. And if we cut straight to what that is, I believe there's three ways to awaken our feminine, which
Mm.
is our quiet power. And you've mentioned one of them already, which is community. And I know with the work that you do, the importance and the beautiful power of women gathering
Yeah.
together with the same conscious objective in
Yeah.
mind. I think there's so much power in vulnerability and in sharing. And when we create safe spaces for women to share, like I do with my work, they're guided by me and my sort of concepts and practices and ideas, but they're also very much lifted by each other.
Yeah.
So I'm really just steering the circle of women. So that's that sense of community is one. And very simply, as we're talking all the time in our head, the way to connect with our power within, if you like, or our balance, our confidence, for me, is very much through the body, because
Yeah.
we live in this male society. So we're always in our heads, and then we get stuck in these chatter loops, and they go round and round and we don't create change because we're stuck in this entrenched patterning. And I think the beautiful thing about our body is it is wise. And when we slow down, another one of your maxims,
Yeah.
slow down to speed up, it's just counterintuitive to many of us. But when we slow down and we start to connect more closely with our bodies through our senses, through movement, through touch, through breathing, through sound, all sorts of ways, which is not the linear cognitive way of listening to our body. Then we start to listen to and hear this intuitive wisdom within. So community, our bodies, and waking up our sensual aliveness, and then both of those, also my third pillar, if you like, is our sexuality and our sexual energy, which is a really great powerhouse for us. If you think about it, it's where life begins. It's from where we give birth. It's a huge power for us. And when I talk about our sexuality, there's two. I mean, there's obviously the pleasure of having sex with our partners, but there's also taking that energy and keeping it simmering through our bodies outside of that intimate scenario. That's I call the difference between sex and our sexuality, the difference between sugar and honey. So sugar gives you a GI spike. We might have a great orgasm, and then we want to keep that energy running through us, through what we do, because it's like a honey. It sort of oozes and gets everywhere. And we all know that if we have had a great making love session, the next day we feel good. But then again, with our busy male orientated approach to life, we don't create enough space for that sacred union with ourselves or with our partners. Not everyone has a partner, but it's not being frightened of our sexual energy, and actually starting to understand what it is and feeling it and using it into our wider sphere as well as our intimate connection moments.
So pillars 2 and 3 must kind of quite connect together quite a lot, really, because once you're more aware of your sexuality, then you are going to be your all of your senses are going to be more heightened. I mean, you can work on the two together, can't you, to get even more benefit and enjoyment, I imagine.
Yes, I would just put it the other way around, because it absolutely, that they go hand in hand. But once we start to live more sensually, or we wake up our sensual aliveness through our bodies, through our senses, and also through another thing I know you're very keen on, I mean, it's absolutely key, is being present, slowing down and being present. These things then help to, if you like, stoke our sexuality or our sexual energy, which might feel a little bit distant to us out of the blue day to day. So yes, our sensual aliveness then fertilizes our sexuality and our sexual energy. So they're linked intrinsically.
I absolutely love it. So how does working with you sort of look from a tangible perspective for your clients?
Well, absolutely. I do it in four ways. I do have a downloadable course, beautifully filmed video course. So for those who might want to just start to get a grasp of this idea and start reflecting on waking up their sensuality, really, as I say, my strapline for transforming your world, but you're a little nervous to go into a group. So this is a downloadable video course with modules on tapping into our sensuality, on breathing, on sound, on movement, and one more heady one, which is followed by a guided visualization for let's say a refresher around our genital anatomy, where I go through the position, purpose, and potential for pleasure of our vulva and vagina areas. So and then there's lots of resources. So that's a quiet way to learn. It's 3 hours of content at your own space, filmed beautifully, professionally. So that's that. And then I work I also do that with a one-on-one. So people, I have clients and they have questions, and then I'm there to talk to them, and I make referrals to other specialists in this space, from gynecologists to sexologists to breathwork teachers, all of those embodiment teachers. So you can do the course with me. And then I also do workshops when we bring women together, and I have different themes of workshops. So I've just been in Italy doing one, and we do movement touch practices, we do more reflective practices. It's like a circle, and we play and we connect in community. And I take people through embodiment practices, from breathing, from one that we can do here on the call, from sort of massaging each other, dancing with each other. And I organize them myself, and I also pair up with people. I usually get invited as part of a program, my bit. And I organize retreats with destinations. So it's not all about what I do, but what I do complements time out and the beautiful offerings of the spas. So I'm doing one in Italy in the autumn, and they have beautiful mud, beautiful water. There's a natural spring there. So we go together and play like nymphs, as well as doing my workshops. And then they can also have the beautiful treatments there. And there's some for beautiful sensual ones using local ingredients, but for slimming and for connecting with our bellies. We're so disconnected from our bellies. So I choose places to work with where what I offer complements what they offer, all around awakening our feminine energy. And then I also have a massage treatment for women. I only give it to women, and I call it meditation in touch. And I work very slowly, very deeply, around the belly, the heart, the chest, the head, and the neck. These areas that I think where we hold tension and are particularly nurturing for women. So, but it's also a meditative exchange of energy, because as I said before, our bodies are thirsty to be listened to. I find they're thirsty to be met, just in sort of slow, loving connection. No other agenda than loving connection. And we know that touch is complicated in our lives, isn't it? Abuse, seduction. But to have another woman, i.e. me, be there with you and be slowly, I don't even notice the woman's body. It's my hands are moving. It's like I'm a channel. And then it's just these women have visualizations. They come in and out of consciousness. They feel relaxed, connect. I mean, it's just beautiful, the feedback. And in a way, this is the work I really, really like, because I really can tangibly see the pleasure that women get, and the connection that they get to themselves, very viscerally, very directly.
It definitely resonates with me. I know that I treat myself regularly to massages, initially just to get rid of tension in the places that you're talking about, but just that feeling of being touched without anything else but the focus being on you is just so beautiful. I mean, I reckon I could lie on a massage bed for hours, hours and hours, and just as you say, just have ideas and thoughts. And sometimes it can be quite emotional, because you've just given yourself that space. You're like really slowing down, which is just so powerful.
It's so powerful. And as I know, part of your philosophy that I share is, we feel that if we put ourselves at the bottom of the list, and this is how society has conditioned us. And it's trying to appreciate that by being, it's not selfish to be self-full. That's a maxim that I use. So if you take time to fill yourself up, actually you have more capacity to give to others.
And I think that can be really hard for women to understand or to grasp, because we're brought up by society and by generations of putting other people first, of caring, of nurturing. And it can be really hard to justify having the time for yourself.
And that this is one of the reasons I do these women on women practices in my workshops, because we are caregivers, as you say, we're
Yes.
always giving, but it's on a subtle psychological level, it's very nourishing to receive. So that's why I ask women to touch other women in the group who may be strangers, and sometimes there's a little hesitancy there, but it's always afterwards they think, oh, I was scared, but it was so fun and I feel great. And I asked them to massage these women in different ways, and all they're clothed and standing, but all over the body. And it's again getting through that barrier and being physical with someone and letting yourself give and receive.
Yes.
And again, this, when you say how much you enjoy having a massage, our bodies, and this is because we're so busy up here, or we're just not connected down here, and everything's stressed, and our bodies, maybe that's why we show up with, well, it's one of a plethora of reasons why we show up with gut issues and tensions, because our body stores everything at a subconscious level, which we're just not aware of. Even if we had a fight with our husband, or, I mean, big thing that comes up, I'm sure we've all slept with someone we didn't want to sleep with back in the day, but our body doesn't forget that, and it just stores up. So that means it can show up as numbness or painfulness when we're having sex later on in life, and these things we're just not aware of. We don't have to really be aware of it. We just have to trust and let our body release by conscious touch, massage, your own touch, your own breathing, your own slowing down, your own. One of my favorite things in the morning, if I don't feel like doing weights, I just dance.
Wow, brilliant.
My favorite music on, and when no one's looking, so you can sort of be sensual, and that's like meditation to set you up for the day.
I have that with singing.
Do you?
Singing along to something, particularly in the car, because sometimes driving can be quite, all those people, cars around, getting aggressive and cutting you up, etc. And I just find that when I have songs on that I can really just let go to, it's just incredible. I feel, we were talking about it with my daughter at the weekend, and it's like just feel so content when you're singing along to a good song
from the top of your lungs.
Totally. Don't care if it's in tune or not. Probably isn't, but who cares? It feels really good.
It feels good. That's using your voice.
Yes.
Which is another very potent activation, very potent practice. And I do a voice practice where we wake up the chakras. So we make different sounds to connect. They're all tools to connect with your body, so you start to understand her and trust her and use her, because as you know, I just said that. So using our voice at different levels to awaken our different chakras just gets your whole, like you say, you feel great, just gets everything is a sound wave ultimately. So just to get the vibrations tuned up, so your body is tuned up and more aligned, then we're all frequencies. Why we attracted to some people more than others, because we're on the same frequency, and when we're not well, our organs are not vibrating at their optimal frequency. So everything we can do, like singing in the car or doing my weird chakra toning, we're raising our vibration, and the more we raise our vibration, this is what the magic of this work, the more we attract into our life what we want, the more we magnetize in without conscious thought and effort. It's a bit like magic. It's a bit like osmosis, and that's why I love the work. It's like, oh yes, I'm practicing what I preach, and good things land.
So what sort of results do you see with the clients that you work with? What do they come out of an experience with you feeling? experiencing, being?
Well, happier, more connected, more self-esteem. I didn't realize. I think just simply they feel happier.
Yeah.
With the massage, they often feel relaxed, and they say, "Oh, it's so wonderful." Some people, "Oh, I feel more connected to my organs," or other people feel, that they've had a little brushing with a soul connection, their own
Yeah.
soul connection. And so it's, I think, I mean, with the course, there's been quite a lot of feedback I get with the online one about making them weep, because it resonates with repressed parts of ourselves. And when they see, oh, someone else is being vulnerable and sharing and showing me this, and then you're doing something which is out of your day to day, it can release emotions, come up, and tears. And people have cried in my workshops as well. They have.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's a release of suppressed emotions through the body. It's actually good.
I love a good cry.
Right, yes.
Better out than in, I say.
Better out than in.
Yeah.
And it's a sign that something's being released.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
it's good. But I think makes people just feel a bit warm and fuzzy and connected.
Yeah.
And that's all we can really hope for, isn't it, in our day-to-day, is feel plumb-lined,
Yes.
peaceful and happy. And as so many people say, this is a great source of it, because we're not getting a lot of it from around and about,
Yeah.
with our
No.
politics, our prices, I
Yeah.
mean, it's pretty tough out there. So let's find a bit more pleasure from in here.
Definitely. And I know you mentioned that you were going to maybe take us on a little experiential journey today. Is now a good time to do that?
Yes. So
To
I
get
think
myself all comfortable.
what we'll do, one is a simple practice that helps us tap in to our sensual energy, so we can understand what I've been banging on about here on a visceral level, because we need to experience and embed in the body what we take into our head to create an experience that starts to stick. So this, let's say, will be about 5 minutes.
Yep, perfect.
So I invite everybody who will listen to this to sit up straight with their feet planted on the floor, and just start to focus on your breathing. So deepen your breathing and slow it down, just quietly for about a minute, and see what happens. Notice how you feel. Because our breath is really the key to connecting with our body. It's very potent and it's very quick. And many of us, while you're breathing slowly, many of us breathe in the upper part of our chest, in this shallow area. So try to take your breath down into your belly. And while you're doing this, when we breathe shallow, we're really living a lot in our sympathetic nervous system, which is the very mild flight or fight state. We're not being chased by a tiger all the time, but we are living constantly in a mild state of stress. So we want to return the balance and return to our bit more to our parasympathetic, and we do this through the breath. Now, hopefully your breathing is now a little more measured, slower. And I'm going to take you through a slow, gentle, few-minute journey of touch around your head and your neck. And the purpose of this is just to notice what you feel. No agenda, no objective, just notice and be present with this. So very slowly rise your hands up above your head with your palms facing down towards the crown of your head. And very, very slowly lower your palms, your fingers down towards the crown of your head. And notice how softly, how gently can you land your fingers on your head. Now with real conscious awareness, move your fingers, journey them very slowly through your hair, ruffling your hair, round the contours of your head. How imperceptibly, slowly, gently can you travel? Almost so you're just feeling the strands of your hair. And maybe you'd like to experiment with a bit more pressure, a bit deeper movements around your cranium. And now, take your fingers over the contour of your forehead, very slowly drag them down till you reach your eye area, the soft pillows of your iPad, of your eyelids, and then the bony contours of your eye sockets, just traveling around. What do they feel like? And then come a bit down, a little bit, to the soft mounds of your cheeks, and travel outwards to your ears. Like our feet, there are so many nerve endings in our ears. As you stroke their edge, their ridges, the insides, what do you feel? We never do this. Then come back again and take your hands to your lips, your sensuous lips, and explore with your fingertips sensations. And then come down towards your neck. Give your neck long, long strokes. Just gentle caresses. This neck, which really for all of us is often so knotted with tension, holding us up all day. So give thanks to your neck. Beautiful. Give a stroke her. Thank you. Feel what it's like just to honor her with your touch. And then come down to your heart. Linger. And then just travel around the contours of your breast just a couple of times. All the time, just noticing, being. And then land with one palm over the other on your heart space. And breathe consciously into your palms, into your heart. Taking down any sort of metaphorical barrier there, just with loving intention, breath, touch. And after a few more breaths, just let out a beautiful sigh, using your voice as we were talking about. And when you feel ready, allow to open your eyes, come back to the room and just notice how you feel. Maybe nothing, maybe calmer, maybe tingly, doesn't matter. You have woken up some enteric internal energy by doing that.
Thank you. I feel very calm.
Do you?
I feel ready to float through the rest of the day, literally.
Do you feel any sensations, physical sensations in anywhere in that area that we've traveled around?
When I was doing it?
Yeah.
Or now? I mean, I was very aware when I put my hand on my heart center, I could really feel my heart. And I know that you can't always feel your heart with such, could really feel it. Not that it was going fast, but I could just feel it. And I actually really liked the going on your cheeks. It's just really nice, particularly as it gets closer to your ears. I think that's because I carry tension there sometimes. Just really nice. But I think when you do all of that so slowly, I mean, you really can feel the individual hairs and like where they connect on your head. And I suppose particularly when you've got short hair as well, you can really feel all the hairs. So it's much more, it feels more sensitive as I go over it now. It's like much more tickly.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
So that, yeah, it's just a little entry point into our internal felts, our feeling sense. And this is, I guess, the takeaway. We want to live more in our feeling sense, a little bit more now in our feeling sense than our thinking sense.
Yeah.
Because it really does help the way we feel.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it's important to lean into that feeling sense probably further than we feel comfortable, so that we can then pull back and find that balance between the thinking and the feeling. Because as you said right at the beginning, it is about having this balance between masculine and feminine energy, between being and doing, and getting that right. And it's not something that's static. It changes and is evolving. It's 3D,
very well said.
4D. Yeah.
Really well said, I think.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, it's experimenting, playing. It's getting out of that comfort zone. That's the hardest bit.
Yeah.
Is stepping out of our normal.
Yeah.
And it's not rocket science.
No.
It doesn't take it's little and often, and then by osmosis, we want to do a little bit more and more because we just feel better and we just put it into our day. And then you come to my workshops, do my courses, have my massage as well, and off we go.
Oh, it's amazing. That's amazing. Well, I'm conscious that we've been talking for 35 minutes, which has gone so quickly. I've really, really enjoyed it. And thank you so much for saying that you would come on to talk with me. It really means a lot.
Oh, it's been a pleasure, Claire. And maybe if any of your listeners would like to try my downloadable
Yeah,
course, I'm going to offer them a 30%
amazing.
discount on the price, which makes it just over 60 something pounds of
Amazing.
just 3 hours of content that they have forever, and
Yeah.
all the written resources. And you might like to tell them, because the code is RMB
Yeah.
capitals, reaching my
Yep.
best 30.
Yes, perfect. RMB 30. I will put that in there as well. And you'll put a link for the course as well.
Where would I do that?
Just in the comments, or I can do it as well. So we
Oh,
can
I
do that
can do that.
afterwards.
Yes. Shall I
Yeah.
do that once we go
Yeah.
offline?
Yes, that'd be perfect.
I'll put a link
Wonderful.
directly to the course so they can read it, and a reminder of the code. Yeah.
Amazing. That's wonderful. Thank you so much, Sophie. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Claire. Lovely to see you. Thanks so
Yeah,
much.
my pleasure.
Bye.